Naveen, there are different aspects and different branches of in fitness, such as strength and conditioning, recovery, rehab, nutrition. So how does strength and conditioning differ in cricket compared to other sports?
Yeah, one of the basic principles of strength and conditioning is specificity. Like if you do a certain specific area, you will improve that. Like for example, if you work on endurance, you'll improve your stamina. You work on strength, you'll improve your muscle belly and you'll improve your strength. You work on your speed and agility, you improve your speed and agility. So regarding along with this, we need to find out the right areas. When it comes to a proper SNC program, we need to work on right areas of what the athlete exactly requires. We don't waste time on working on other areas. Like we have certain protocols and we have parameters according to the national team, where when an athlete comes in, we take a fitness test. When it goes on ground test, when it comes to strength and conditioning. Then we also have an FMS, which is called as a functional movement screening. So depending on his movements, we need to design a program. So likewise, even different sport has a different way of movements. And if you take any sport in the world, you will have one side dominance, because one side is overloaded and the other side is not completely used, because there will be a right and left hand dominance in all the sport and also in his daily lifestyle. So as a professional SNC, we need to address that. So we need to check the difference, the unilateral difference, and then work on the specific areas where the athlete requires exactly, so that we don't waste time on working on other areas which he doesn't require.
From SNC point of view, what is the difference when you're preparing these programs for different levels in cricket, such as an amateur player, a junior state player and an elite player?
Yes, absolutely, because when we start training any athlete, we check back his history, like history in the sense training history, or if he has any injury history, or if he has his skill, which is the sporting training history also. So depending on that, we get an idea. And also, as I said before, once we check all the assessments, like we do the on ground trainings, we do the speed and agility, endurance, then we check the strength aspect in the gym, whether it is lifting weights or whether it is body weight trainings. Then we check his functional movement screening, where how good his body mechanics is, and along with that we get a picture of where he stands. So along that we also have the age category, like we have the under 10s, under 12s, under 15s, under 17s. So then we break down into like the beginner stage, then we have the amateur, then we have the junior level youth program, then we have the senior level elite program. So it again changes according to the person's history, a person's age, and also his fitness level. So we need to plan depending based on what exactly is required for the athlete.
When we just now talked about the different levels you prepare a program from an SNC point of view. Now when we talk about specific skills, does strength and conditioning change based on the skill level, like a fast bowler, a batsman and wicket keeper? How does SNC change for these different skill levels in cricket?
When you have these three different departments, we also need to focus on the wicket keeper aspect also. Because as a fast bowler, he needs to bowl out his heart out, he needs to bowl fast. So he has to be strong, he has to be athletic, and his force should be completely towards the direction. But when it comes to spinners, he shouldn't be really bulky. He should be working on his movements, where it should be helping his bowling. So we can't gradually build up his upper body completely and then you lose the variations. And when it comes to batsman, he needs to hit around 80-90 yards, he need to run fast, and you see more of the fast pacers, will be fielding more in the outfield. But as the games change, you need to focus on all the areas. It's not just one aspect, because earlier in 80s or 90s, fast bowlers used to field in the long side of the boundaries, and the spinners and batters used to be at the infield. But as the shorter format IPL and T20s have started, and we require every athlete to be working at every areas. So we have the specificity based on his skill, but we also have to fulfill in all areas.
Naveen, you have led me into my next question. How does strength and conditioning differ from the different formats in cricket, such as T20, ODI and longer formats?
As the game is evolving, now we are more inclined towards the shorter format. So let's talk about T20. Like T20, we require more of explosive power, we require more of intensity. There will be less rest period because between every 20 overs we have around maybe around 20 minutes of break, and also we have to consider the time frame also. We have a lot of T20s played during the night period. So when it comes to training also, specificity for the shorter format will be focusing more on the explosive power, on the batting aspect or bowling aspect. Bowlers, fast bowlers, we need to focus on more on bowling specific 4 overs. So the intensity will be really high and the volume would be little less. There is a lot of fatigue levels also where the athlete will undergo because of the intensity level. When it comes to the one day format, the intensity will be more or less close to the T20, but the volume will be slightly higher because it is a day, almost a full day, and it's a 100 over game. But when it comes to multi-day, we need to also focus on the workload, especially for the fast bowlers, their recovery. The explosive work is there for every ball when you have to hit or when you have to bowl or when you have to throw, but the intensity will be slightly reduced when it compares to the shorter format. And more or less all the principles will be same when it comes to recovery, but the preparation like we discussed, like during the season or off season or the transition phase, we need to design a program according to the athlete's requirement. If a player is not completely trained for the explosive work, we can also work on different with different aspects like working with the medicine balls, bands, but we try to focus on getting their movements more cleaner and more easier for them so that it is helpful for the sport.